Hello, everyone. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 83. Is it really out there? It is Saturn's Day, April 8th, 2023, 6 p.m. Central. I see we got some people in the chat. An unexpected locate. Well, some people are probably expecting us to be here because they're not aware that what's happened with the channel. And then other people know what's happened and so on and so forth. So what's going on is this channel has been hit with multiple strikes. YouTube doesn't like me talking about certain things. Like something we'll cover in the other live stream involving them trying to put mRNA crap into our beef and pork so that we're forced to eat this shit. Anyway, so this channel got shut down for 2 weeks. That's why the banner now says backup channel. Because if I do a bunch of live streaming over here, I'm bound to get hit with another strike, and that will shut the channel down permanently. So the new LOCKBEARD channel, the primary channel, is the other one. And the link is in all the videos, in the description under all the videos. So if you need to find the links for the primary channel or this channel, or find any video of on any of those channels, and you'll find those links in the description. You'll also find a link to Rumble. Everyone go to Rumble, subscribe to LOCKBEARD over there, whether you plan on ever going over there or not, because I need the subscribers to get where I can be when I live stream. It can go to both YouTube and Rumble, but I can't live stream the Rumble until I got over 100 subscribers. So I need everyone over there. The reason why I'm live streaming on the backup channel right now is, well, because it's the backup channel, and the primary channel just got hit with a strike too. Luckily, I came out of suspension on this channel before, in time to do this anyway, to do this live stream. I haven't done any live streams since last Saturday. Or was it? I think it was last Saturday. It was last Saturday's. And so that channel, the primary channel, is in suspension right now. It's been hit with a strike for some of the same old crap that's being disproven as time goes on. More and more of these things they are claiming is misinformation. YouTube is lying because it's true. Everything's coming out as true. Not everything is out yet, but it's coming. And they're continuing to make claims about a certain freaking thing that is untrue. They're lying. YouTube is lying. If you still believe that crap, any of that crap, I don't know what else to say. I've said it here. I've tried to, but they keep shutting me down if I talk too specifically. I mean, they suspended the other channel because of a shorts video. I did a 7-part shorts series with clips from a documentary called Died Suddenly. YouTube does not want you to see Died Suddenly. They don't want you to know what is in Died Suddenly. You can find those shorts. Some of them are on the backup channel, and except for the 2 that got taken down. I think it was 3 and 6. All of them be over on Rumble. I think 7 isn't up there yet, but it'll be there. And the documentary itself died suddenly. Everyone needs to go see it. If you, especially if you got the stupid injection, you need to go see that. Stop. If you've been ignoring this, you need to stop ignoring this. Okay? I got to be careful what I say. Why? But you need to freaking see that documentary, and you need to start going down this rabbit hole because your life depends on it. Let's see who's in chat. Old Soldier, welcome. Rex Hand, welcome. Uncle Bones, welcome. Angel, welcome. Mark, Australia. I saw there was a a really short article about a Yowie sighting, or is on like a drone camera, I think. But I haven't been able to find the drone because the video was disabled in the article itself, and the article was really short. So I don't know. I don't know what was in the video. I was hoping to pull it up, but it's so I don't know if you're aware of the incident. Supposed drone footage of a Yowie in Australia. But welcome to the chat, Mark. Squatch America's here. Welcome. Sandra Piper, welcome. Who else is here? Sleeping Beauty, welcome. How far behind am I in the chat? Angel says that is a good documentary. I've watched some of it, still got to finish it. Rex says I was aware of that madness way before. Yeah. Angel says, Jack Rex, me too. Yeah, never trusted it. Yeah, unfortunately, look, I know people don't want to talk about political shit on LOCKBEARD Phenomena, right? But they've politicized this. This is how they get. See, if they have an issue and they know that probably 99% of the people are going to be against this damn thing, what they will do is they'll have the leadership of one side or the other. It really doesn't matter which one. One of them will say, this thing is for real. This is the thing you need to think and do. And the other side, those guys, they're against this. And all you really got to do is say that the other side is against it. And suddenly these guys, all the people on the street are like, well, most of them are like, oh, hell, those guys they don't like this, which means I need to like this. This is how goddamn stupid the whole damn thing is. That's how stupid the whole thing is. Every single issue, all of them, because every issue, if you actually look at it with an objective, logical mind, look at the actual evidence, look at real science, you will see that there is one correct answer to most things. There's one correct answer to most things. Unfortunately, they because they make it a political thing, people won't listen to the real science on it. This is what we have this issue with, because really there's politics in the Sasquatch subject too. People who want to believe a certain thing because whatever their reason, whatever team they decide to join, they have a reason. It's not a political party in this case, but they have some reason why they're on that team, and they have to only listen to confirmation bias, supposed evidence that supports their side of the goddamn issue. And they'll never get to any kind of truth. If they are believing some nonsense that doesn't have any proof to back it up, they will continue to be there because they will not listen to actual evidence, actual science, logical reasoning, objective thought. This kind of behavior is everywhere because people get latched on to a particular ideology, a religion, a political stance, a cultural norm, something. And they're so invested in it. It's a, you know, it's a cult. It's always really a cult. Culture cult, right? Um, you know how how strongly you adhere to your culture depends on whether or not you will be looked at as a fanatic by some other culture, right? And really, like, so, because sometimes we call people cults in our culture. Well, we're a cult too. We're all part of some cult. The difference, is just that they aren't part of our cult. So we're instantly have some issue with what they think, right? Because humans are programmed to be tribal animals. It's very important for humans to be loyal to the tribe. So this is part of our genetically programmed behavioral complement. If you're not loyal to the tribe is going to be less defended, right? If you're not willing to put your life on the line for the tribe might die out. Those genetics go away, and the genetics of a tribe that behaved like a fanatical cult when it came to defending the cult. Everyone in the tribe's like, willing to kamikaze your ass. Well, you see where we're at, right? We're trying to find. We need to, if we want to embrace some level of multiculturalism, we need to be measured in our response to cultures that we're not part of and don't agree with, because if we're not part of that culture, there's going to be some aspects of it that we don't agree with, and we need to decide whether our culture has an ideology of we don't mind that culture exists. But that's a problem when it comes to the evolutionary nature of cultures, because cultures and religions evolve just like life does. They have their own evolutionary thing going on. And the ones that reproduce themselves and destroy the competition are the ones that survive and proliferate the best. So, whereas a lot of us in our today will look at the Inquisition and holy wars and jihads, and we're like, oh my gosh, that stuff's horrible. They're killing people because they don't believe what they want them to believe. That's why those religions are major religions in the world today, is because they were virulent. They were like a virus, it just spreads. And religions that don't want to convert people and to some extent destroy the competition, they don't survive. So, and we have that in the Bigfoot community, where people, on the logical side of things, while we have a desire to eliminate the competition, we don't want to be complete pricks about it. We want to try and, we don't want to, we're not willing to do immoral things. We don't want to lie. The other side wants to lie. They hoax, they falsify evidence, they just make crap up. They're willing to do anything. And that's why they are proliferating more than the logical side is. I think most people looking at this subject to a degree that the crazy crap, the woo crap, whatever that word encompasses in your mind, that stuff's proliferating a lot, and to the exasperation of those of us who want, calm, cool, collected, measured, logical, objective, scientifically verified facts. So, does this side of the Bigfoot culture, do we want to become fanatics? Because the other side's fanatics. And where's that line at? Fanatic and not fanatic. I don't know where I was at. There I was, I think. Rex says we should band together and buy our own platform. If only that was possible. Not everybody can be Elon Musk and drop, what was it, 40 something billion dollars on Twitter. I'm sure there's got to be, hopefully there's somebody like that out there that's multi-billionaire who's willing to, who would buy. Well, you'd have to buy Alphabet, right? Because I don't think Alphabet's going to sell Google, and Google's not going to sell YouTube. Because there's all these levels to crack. It's like with you guys that are have a problem with what's going on with Bud right now, Bud Light and all that stuff. And you got to recognize that company owns a bunch of different beers. So you're gonna have to go to local breweries and stuff, or make your own beer, or just stop drinking. I suggest the latter. Alcohol is not doing you any favors, folks. I promise you. You can live without it. You don't need it. You really don't. And if and you can make your own. It's real easy. Hell, I have to mix sugar water all the time for the bees, and I left a half gallon of I think it was a 1 part to 1 part sugar water. Stuff fermented, smelled. It was strong. It was strong. I'm not gonna drink it, but that yeast floats around everywhere. I could go over there and scrape some honey out of a frame right now, put it in a jug, mix it, dilute it with water, because it needs to be diluted to ferment. Because that's why sugar or honey's dried out to the point it can't ferment. There's not enough moisture content. But if you add water to honey, you probably don't really need to do anything else, other than just wait. But you can put bread yeast in there and it'll ferment. There's people out there that say you can't use bread yeast for that. That's bullshit. I've done it many times. Not with honey though. I did it with wine primarily. But anyway, little side trip we took there. The alternative is Rumble. Of course, Rumble is going to be a major competitor of YouTube very shortly. I know they look different. It's hard to get used to sometimes. But the reality is a lot of the people that believe in free expression are going to Rumble. And Lockbeard has been on Rumble for a long time. I made sure to jump onto that as early as I can and got it set up to where everything automatically moves over to Rumble from here. So all the videos that YouTube has deleted, they're on Rumble. A lot of them are also on BitChute and Odyssey, but it just doesn't look like BitChute and Odyssey are going to be big players unless they do something to change. Now Rumble has to do some work, and hopefully some of these people like Steven Crowder's gone to Rumble is going to influence Rumble to change, because I don't like the way things are laid out. I don't like the way a lot of the stuff works. There's just all kinds of funny stuff about Rumble that makes it a pain in the butt, and it just needs to be changed. But hopefully that changes, and people can, more and more people are going to Rumble. Like Steven Crowder just got knocked off of YouTube again because they don't like what Steven Crowder says. But he's on Rumble, so that's another reason why y'all need to go to Rumble and check out some Steven Crowder while you're over there. Louder with Crowder. Mark says that Yowie caught on drone was on 6th of April. Looks like a kangaroo jumping across the paddock to me. Yeah, I saw some people commenting about that. They thought it looked like it was just a kangaroo. At least some these people here weren't there. They would have called it a dog man. Raptor's here. He says, hello, Lockbeard and everyone in chat. Hope you're having a good evening. You too, Raptor. Let's see, the Squatching Cowboy is here. He says, howdy, y'all. Mark, Rex, Angel, Raptor, Uncle Bone, Sandra, and Lockie. Squatch America says, the victor writes the history. Yep. Yep. That's why we got so much nonsense that people believe right now about history. And plus, they're wanting to erase history. Like, nothing is more despicable to me than the destruction of archaeological evidence, which has happened a whole bunch. It happens here in America. This is what got me in trouble with the tribe, because I was talking about this. The tribal governments, now people got to remember, because I'm a tribe member. So let's get this out right now. I am a tribe member. So I feel like I can safely say whatever the hell I want about this. The tribal governments are corrupt. Like every government, they're corrupt as hell. Money grubbing that pricks. That, you know, it's amazing. You wouldn't believe some of the crap that goes on in tribal. Well, you would. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're corrupt as hell. And they are misusing NAGPRA to hide evidence of the prehistory of America, right? You know, at this point, I think it's pretty much accepted that there is definitely evidence that humans occupied, or somebody, America up to, I think the number is 130,000 years ago. Along with a whole bunch of other evidence that proves that there was a race of people here that existed before what we call Native Americans today. And it appears that they were probably Caucasian, which really hacks some people off, right? You know, the tribal governments don't want you to know that. They want you to think that they are the original peoples that were here, and that they couldn't have possibly come here from somewhere else and then they blended with those people. The DNA evidence shows that, and then some other evidence, linguistic and artifacts and so on. But they also they wiped out a lot of them, like that Paiute tribe story about wiping out a tribe of redheaded people, and then they found the skeletons, which I think they said they resembled. Could they say? Anyway, they're Caucasian skeletons. They talk about the Ainu. They talk about Pignon woman. These are, you know, they're not maybe not exactly like today's Caucasians, because people do, you know, change over time, but they're still Caucasian. The Ainu in Japan were Caucasian people. I'm sorry, the Tarim Basin people in China. You know, all this stuff is like not PC. I guess apparently you can't talk about that. How dare you say that stuff like this? It's horrible. To me, it's just science. It's just facts. Who gives a shit, right? But whatever. It's maddening, though. It's maddening. But the tribes are misusing NAGPRA. For those people that don't know, NAGPRA is the Native American Grace Protection and Repatriation Act, which allows Native American tribes to take into possession human remains, archaeological remains that have been found on public land, so that they can rebury them according to their custom and blah blah. And that's fine, whatever. Okay, you guys want to do that. The problem is they take possession of skeletons at times that cannot be proven to be a member of their tribe. And like the big case was the Kennewick Man case in Washington State, right? Like I think it was like 4 or 5 different tribes were trying to claim the skeleton. Man, that skeleton was not any of their tribes, but they all want, because it was 9,000 years old, and they don't want people to know that there were Caucasian people here for like 100,000 years before the Indians even existed. They don't like this. They don't like this. They don't want you to know. I don't understand what the problem is. Like, because I dealt with some individuals in tribal government who want you to believe that they were just always here. I'm like, well, we know damn well they weren't just always here. At some point, there were no humans here, and then some humans migrated here. Some of them probably evolved into some Sasquatch, and then so on and so forth. But um, but of course the other ones, they accept the land bridge migration, 10 to 15, whatever the number is accepted now, thousands of years ago. But but here's my thought. Let me think as a tribe member for a second here. Do we just want is okay? So we could say, okay, we're people who just kind of, we were just following some herds and we accidentally landed in America, and it was just free for a taking, so we took it. It could be that boring, or we could have showed up here and discovered a civilization of white people, and we conquered their ass and took this bitch over. Now, isn't that a cooler story? And the reality is that's in keeping with what all of human existence, right? That's what humans do. We go and we conquer each other, and then they come back and conquer us, and it just goes back and forth, and that's what's made us strong and intelligent and improve over time. But let me see here. Probably got way behind in chat this time. Ready to get back in the woods, having withdrawals. Yeah, you haven't had your uploads on the last 2 Fridays, have you? Rep says, how was surgery? Squatch America says we just need to all go to Rumble. Yeah, at some point that might happen. People get fed up. Squatch Cowboy says 9 days without sugar, and I would kill for some sweet tea. Oh man, the sugar's killing you, man. Rex Hand says Bigfoot cult of personality went well. His surgery went well. It's probably so gross. Talking about the sugar water, Sleeping Beauty. But you look so much better, Lock, when I drink. Well, thank you, Squatching Cowboy. Everything went well. Let's make Rumble a little more user friendly. Yeah, I think they will, Angel. I think they will in time. Be crying. Sketching Cowboy says Mark knows the fishing. How's the fishing going? Mark, how's the fishing going? Easter holidays. Around at the moment. Keep away time of the year. Burnt a motor up. Bust out another 1,000. Yeah, I wish I hadn't sold my pontoon boat, but I just couldn't. I didn't have a vehicle that could haul it, and I couldn't afford to get one. And it costs a lot of fuel to run that stupid thing. $5,600 motor. Saving money to get a new truck. Well, I thought I was going to have a harder time catching up in chat than that. How's the sound? I don't think I got any videos pulled. I try to avoid videos anymore because I have such a pain to deal with videos. StreamYard, you need to figure out some way to make this where it works better. Dang it. So, new to you anyways. Not getting a brand new one. You don't want to buy a truck and then watch $10,000 off the value just drop off as you drive out of the parking lot. You need a buddy. I don't know if you're good. I've never been real good about finding deals on stuff, but I have a buddy that is like he found like this van. Like my previous vehicle was um kept breaking down. He told me, look, dude, it's over. He said you need a van. He'd been trying to talk me into getting a van for years. He said I need a van. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I need a van. So, he started looking for a deal on a van and found this I think it's a 92 or a 94. But it's been doing me pretty well. $2,000. It smelled like weed for like a year after I got it. It was a Latino family that I bought it from. It didn't have any rust. It don't have any rust. It's probably getting some now, but it didn't have any rust. And so we were asking about it, like where it come from, and it was like, how's it run? They said, well, it run pretty good. It got us here from Mexico. So I don't know what they trafficked in this thing, but it smelled like weed for like a year. See a little video on fake book, yeah. Seems like the new ones have 4 bangers in them. Everybody needs a van down by the river. Yeah. Let's see, this is where I'm going to run it. I want to put on this layout. I feel like this is a better, but the problem is it doesn't jump back like it's supposed to. Welcome to the chat, by the way, Voodoo Cadillac. Raptor says the contact high when you're driving, that's always good. I wouldn't know what that is. I'm not interested in any contact high. That's all right. Well, apparently Bigfoot has hit popular mechanics. Could Bigfoot really be out there? For centuries, people have reportedly seen this mythical primate-like animal in the woods of North America. This is the long, strange story of our search for the creature. The film is mostly 3.5 minutes of grainy fall foliage, men riding horses, and jerky pans. The famous footage used for decades afterward in every documentary about whether Bigfoot is real or fake comes across just as someone having fun with their new camera. But about 2 minutes in, the lens of a rented 16mm Sign Kodak camera catches something strange. We were just riding out along the creek, riding along, enjoying the warm sunshine day, says Bob Gimlin. Then across the creek, there was one standing. Everything happened so fast. What Gimlin's camera lens sees is a strange, large, ape-like figure, limbering on its hind legs across a clearing. For a brief moment, the animal appears to look directly at the camera, and then it's gone. This is the famed Patterson-Gimlin film, reportedly shot in October of 1967 in the heavily wooded forests of Northern California, and it is one of the most heavily analyzed pieces of film in American history. To some, this is definitive proof that Bigfoot is as real as mountain gorillas or narwhals. For others, it's a hoax alongside videos claiming to show ghosts, aliens, and lizard people. But Gimlin knows exactly what he saw that day. It walked upright and for quite a long ways. It didn't look like a bear. I've been in the woods my whole life. 86-year-old Gimlin tells Popular Mechanics. There's no doubt in my mind at all what it was. A centuries-old tale. Pictographs at the Carrizo Plain National Monument belonging to the Yaqut Aboriginal tribe in Central California. This elusive, possibly fictitious animal goes by a number of different names: Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yowie, Skunk Ape, Yali, and for centuries, people across North America have had sightings. Many Native American cultures have oral legends that tell of a primate-type creature roaming the continent's forest. In these tales, the animals are sometimes more human-like and other times more ape-like. In the mythology of the Kwakiutl tribe that once heavily populated the western coast of British Columbia, Zenukwa is a big, hairy female that lives deep in the mountainous forest. According to the legend, she spends most of her time protecting her children and sleeping, hence why she's rarely seen. In fact, the name Sasquatch comes from Halkomelem, a language spoken by several First Nation peoples that occupied the upper northwest into British Columbia. In California, there are century-old pictographs drawn of the Yakuts that appear to show a family of giant creatures with long, shaggy hair, called Mayak the Tat by the tribe. The image bears a resemblance to commonly held vision of Bigfoot. Some tribes really love Bigfoot. They have a great relationship with them, says Kathy Muskowitz Strain, author of the book Giants, Cannibals, and Monsters, Bigfoot and Native Culture, and archaeologist with the U.S. Forest Service. To other tribes, though, like the Miwoks, he's an absolute ogre, a monster, and something best left alone. To this day, Strain says many of the tribesmen she does field research with believe that Bigfoot walks among us. I've been in the field with tribal members where something strange happens and they always blame it on Bigfoot, says Strange. There's bear men in them hills. Native Americans weren't the only ones seeing this hairy primate creature roaming the wilds of America. 19th and early 20th century newspapers had whole sections devoted to miners, trappers, gold prospectors, and woodsmen claiming to have seen wild men, bear men, and monkey men. Most famously, in 1924, a group of prospectors hunkering down in a cabin along the shoulder of Mount St. Helens in Washington state claimed they were attacked late one night by a group of 8 men. Later, one of the prospectors admitted that they weren't unprovoked attacks. He had taken pot shots at the creature earlier in the day. Even then, as noted in Chad Arment's 2006 book, Historical Bigfoot, these accounts, like the ones from the prospectors in 1924, were often regarded with a general sense of skepticism, often due to the unreliable nature of the witnesses. It's hard to know what came out of the bottom of a whiskey bottle and what's real, says former NPR producer Laura Krantz, who's a host of the podcast Wild Thing, which digs deep into the search for Bigfoot. There were also times when one animal was confused for another, possibly explaining the origin of the name Bigfoot. Newspaper accounts show that Bigfoot was a common nickname for particularly large, aggressive grizzly bears who ate cattle, sheep, and attacked humans. It wasn't until 1958 when a California tractor operator named Jerry Crew found a series of huge, muddy footprints that the term was popularized in reference to the primate-like animals. That same year, another man named Ray Wallace also said he had discovered large prints belonging to Bigfoot. Upon his death in 2002, it was revealed that this was a hoax. Sasquatch goes mainstream. It was in the mid 20th century when Bigfoot stepped from local lore to national phenomenon. In 1961, naturalist Ivan T. Sanderson published his book Abominable Snowman. Legend comes alive. In the book, Sanderson uses footprints, eyewitnesses, and bone samples as potential evidence of subhumans living on 5 continents across the world, including North America's Sasquatch and the Himalayas Yeti, though others believe that the Yeti is a totally different species. Sanderson's work caught enough people's attention that William Strauss, a well-regarded primate evolutionary biologist at Johns Hopkins University, reviewed it for Science magazine, saying Sanderson's standards for evidence are unbelievably low, and that the evidence is anything but convincing. Nonetheless, Strauss admits it would be foolish and quite unscientific to say that the creatures Sanderson describes absolutely don't exist. Sanderson's book was followed by the Patterson-Gimlin film 6 years later. Gimlin says it happened so fast that he considers himself and Roger Patterson pretty lucky that they were able to get any footage at all of the hairy mythical animal lumbering along only yards away from them. When he watched the footage for the first time a few days later, Gimlin was pretty pessimistic that this would be enough to convince anyone. I didn't think the film was that good. I saw it with my 2 eyes. Better than that, says Gimlin, yet it became a phenomenon. Some, like former director of primate biology program at the Smithsonian Institute, John Napier, saw it as a well-done, elaborate hoax, but not everyone saw it that way, including Grover Krantz, a professor of physical anthropology at Washington State University and a leading authority on hominoid evolution and primate bone structures. Krantz also believed in Sasquatch. His unwavering belief came from eyewitnesses, the creature's gait in the Patterson-Gimlin film, and most importantly, the anatomical structure of found footprints. It was the dermal ridges where sweat pores open on palms and soles depicted in the prints that left him convinced that at least some were authentic. His working theory was that Sasquatch was part of the hominid family, the same one humans shared with apes, and was a descendant of thought to be long extinct humongous primate species that once lived in Asia, appropriately named Gigantopithecus. At some point, a million or so years ago, Krantz theorized it had crossed the Bering Strait when it was still a land bridge into North America and evolved into its own species on this continent. Grover was eclectic. That's a good word to describe him, says Jeff Meldrum, author of the book Sasquatch Legend Meets Science, a professor of anatomy at Idaho State University, and a one-time colleague of Krantz. There were many ideas that he had that were a decade or two ahead of his time, and when he pursued some of these ideas, he would be ridiculed. When asked about the possibility of Sasquatch existing, Krantz was always unequivocal, saying that he guaranteed it. Family ties. Krantz's conviction in Bigfoot didn't help his academic career, though. Passed over for promotions and nearly missing receiving tenure at Washington State, he knew the only way he would be able to convince his colleagues of this primate's existence was by producing a body. So Krantz was known to spend his nights in the middle of the Pacific Northwest old-growth forest with a shotgun, quite literally hunting Bigfoot. He rationalized this by saying that it was the only way to get the scientific community to believe him, and that technically it wasn't against the law. Camping out to find Bigfoot. Here's your best gear for long nights in the woods. We got ourselves a camping chair ad right here in the middle of this. This is definitely not this is definitely not low key. Bigfoot is going to spot you if you bring this crap. I'm sure it's good for camping though. It has not yet been established that the Sasquatch exists, Krantz once wrote. To pass laws against harming Sasquatches presently makes little more sense than protecting unicorns. Krantz died in 2002 as a complex figure in the eyes of the scientific community, highly respected for his work in primate evolution, yet mocked for his belief in Bigfoot. However, during Krantz's life and after it, the search for Bigfoot took on a life of its own. More sightings, films, and books, some from respected researchers, emerged. Bigfoot documentaries captured the public's imagination. Harry and the Hendersons entertained the masses. Even Jane Goodall, the famed chimpanzee expert, admits there is a possibility that an undiscovered large primate may exist in the world. In 2006, Laura Krantz, at the time an NPR reporter based in DC, read an article about the quirky anthropologist who shared her last name. It originally didn't ring any bells. He just seemed like an eccentric weirdo. But then she saw that he was also from Salt Lake City, like her father's family. They were related. As Krantz's grandfather told her at the time, "Oh yeah, Grover, that was my cousin. He used to come to the family picnics and measure people's heads with a caliper." This began Krantz's own journey into the wilderness in search of Bigfoot, which she documented for her podcast, Wild Thing, which aired its first episode on October 2nd, 2018. She acknowledges, much like her cousin Grover, that without a body or skeleton, it's hard to convince others that this long lost primate still exists in North America's backwoods. A lot of people who think Bigfoot is out there, they realize that there is a lack of evidence, says Krantz. The kind of real proof that would actually make people sit up and take notice doesn't actually exist at this point. But the things she observed during her research for the podcast has changed her mind about the possibility of Bigfoot. I went from Bigfoot is a legend to I can't just say out of hand that Bigfoot never existed or doesn't exist now, says Krantz. I can't fully dismiss it anymore. So looks like that's the end of that article. A little bit of history. Some bits of that may be real evidence, PG film, and so on. See where I was in chat. Oh my gosh. There we go. I'm back. Lots of highs and hellos going on. Meredith's here. Welcome. Says she's sure at the she shed. What? Meredith says, Uncle Bones and everyone, hello. I've got a wrist brace on, so it's hard for me to text. Finally got to the doctors because my wrist wasn't healing and shooting pain up my arm, so I had x-rays done. Just like the movie, what? Red says, Meredith, any prayers? Hope you feel better. Can't text good with it on, but love to you all. Lockbeard, hello. What's up, Meredith? Happy you're here. Prayers. Icon's here. Welcome. What's up, man? So, for everybody isn't aware, I've been trying to get used to this whole deal of sending out an email to everybody that I have an email address for when I'm going to live stream and any kind of information pertaining to the channel, such as the new channel, which is now the primary Lockbeard channel, is in suspension right now. I got a strike, and YouTube took it out for it's a week suspension. So we'll be back on that channel next week. This channel is going to now be the backup channel because it just needs to be. It's got 2 strikes on it. If I do too much live streaming over here, and if I do get hit by a strike, it will shut it down permanently. So we need to not do that. So anyway, if you want to be emailed, because YouTube is not giving notifications, and if I don't have a way to communicate with you and say, look, channel got shut down, or just to tell you, like the first email I sent, I think, was telling everybody, yeah, the channel got shut down, but the old channel, not the original channel, but the last old channel, was back up and running, which is where we're at now. And we'll live stream here. So send me an email. Preferably to this email address. Let me put it in the chat. I mean, I have the other email, but it's just, there's reasons why it's just easier to do it on this email for me. Like I don't get on Proton all the time, but I'm on this email. This email address I'm putting in the chat here in a second. On it every day, constantly. So there it is. It's in the chat. So email me there, and I'll add your address to the list. BCC, everybody, so that nobody can see your email address. That nobody should be able to see anything. They shouldn't know, because all you're going to see when you get the email, the primary recipient is lockbeard@proton.com. So I'm sending it to myself, and then all of your email addresses will be in the BCC, which is hidden addresses of other people that are receiving the email. If I don't know if anybody's worried about that. I just feel safer. There's no reason to broadcast everyone's email to everyone else, right? Where's Mr. Lee? I don't know. He's slacking. He's a slacker. You're welcome, Sleeping Beauty. Voodoo Cadillac says YouTube sucks. Suspended, yeah. Wild radio wave thingy you passed around earlier. She's getting along, sounds like. High school. Yeah, there's the email. Achaeos6@yahoo.com. Send me an email there. I'll put you on the mailing list, and then I'll try to email you with the link to the live stream that's coming up. And that way, if YouTube doesn't notify you, it won't matter, because you'll have the link directly to the live stream. So, boom. We just got to bypass YouTube, because YouTube is doing everything it can to hold Lockbeard down. It makes Lockbeard unhappy. But so yeah, and also, email the live stream to other people, man. You'll have it right there in an email. You can just forward it. I don't know, forward it to your state representative. Forward it to I don't know, all your friends and family. Forward it to the FBI. I'm sure they're already watching now. Multitasking. Jen says swollen up thigh knee, typical for surgery. Raptor says, Lockbeard, I can't do any of that, and you know that. So if you leave here, I'm screwed for your watching your stuff. But we got you. We got you. You're subscribed on the new channel though, right? I thought we got you. I thought we got you squared away on that. Icon says, Uncle Bones, I saw your message and was going to wait a bit until you have time to type out just the short answer. Hope you're up for up and running soon. Rick Sand says, all right, good deal. Yeah, Raptor, if you just go in the description under any of the videos, the link to the old channel and the new channel, the new primary channel and the backup channel, they're both there. So if you're not subscribed to both, you can get to them there and subscribe to them both there. But if YouTube doesn't send you a link, man, I don't know what else to do. All I can do is email the people that can get emails. So I don't know what else to do about that. So just gotta do what we can. Icon says, Uncle Bones, oh, we already read that one. Icon says, oh, and I get your notification on time. I did get your notification on time. I was out walking the dog and listening in. Now I'm fix some chicken. Finna fix some chicken. He's finna to fix some chicken. I don't know why I can't get this stuff to work right. Uncle Bone says, remember Raptor Locke's new channel has, yeah. Because when I made a new channel, I used basically the same picture, but this time I used a different one to help differentiate the two, so reduce mistakes in that regard. Sandra Piper says, Icon, no, I'm not. I am doing pretty good these days. I am able to go outside and sit for a while and love that. Awesome. Yep, awesome. So this is an article on grunge.com, the bizarre true story of Bigfoot, America's missing ape. Every part of the world has its legends, whether they're elves, jinns, or green-suited little bearded men perched at the end of rainbows. In the United States and Canada, our local mythological figure is a bipedal hairy primate that goes by the strange name Bigfoot. When the big old ape isn't tramping around the woods with his size 30-something feet, he's getting his picture snapped by photographers, having his language secretly recorded, or starring in beef jerky commercials. For as long as human beings have looked into the forest shadows, they've speculated about whether Bigfoot is out there. Whether these creatures are real or not, people have been telling stories about Bigfoot encounters for centuries. across many cultures and regions to the point where even the most fervent disbeliever has to at least raise an eyebrow. Either way, Bigfoot is one of North America's greatest icons. Here's the true story about how his big sailed gorilla man became a big deal. Sasquatch was an important figure in Native American beliefs. If Bigfoot is real, he didn't just traipse into the country sometime after the U.S. Constitution was signed. One of the most fascinating parts of Bigfoot mythology is the fact that a tall, hairy man like figure plays a key role in the mythologies of numerous North American indigenous peoples, according to native languages. For example, the Sioux believed in a powerful, burly figure they called Tonka, or Big Elder Brother. The Cheyenne tribe told tales of an aloof, hairy man named Maximista, who may have played a key role in their creation story. Even the now familiar term Sasquatch is merely an anglicization of the more Halcomellum name Saskatch. Different tribes each had their own take on the Bigfoot figure, but for the most part, very few saw the creatures being monstrous, aggressive, or evil. Rather, as described by Indian country today, Bigfoot's place in many tribal mythologies was that a gentle guardian, a protector, a keeper of the earth. Over the centuries, as the Bigfoot legend has grown, the Oregon Historical Society states that Native Americans in Oregon have increasingly come to see Bigfoot as an important piece of their culture with great significance to their history. Bigfoot meets the invaders. As we know today, North America was fated to become the landing dock of countless European settlers. From the 1600s onwards, these Europeans experienced their own alleged Bigfoot encounters, though the colonizers found the creatures a lot scarier than the native peoples usually did. One of the more popular historical writings among cryptozoological aficionados is a 1604 passage from French navigator Samuel de Champlain, who ominously described a frightful monster which the savages called Gugao. Though Champlain said Gugao was an enormous feminine beast that devoured human beings and made horrible noises, his description was vague enough that reading it today, Gugao could have been anything from Bigfoot to a swamp monster. Champlain decided that Gugao was an unholy devil of some sort because, well, that's what Europeans said about every weird phenomenon back then. As the New World was increasingly colonized, reports of encounters with more distinctly Bigfoot-like creatures continued trickling in. In 1811, according to Rolling Stone, explorer David Thompson was hiking through the Rockies when he stumbled upon some seriously massive footprints, which he followed for nearly 100 yards before the trail went cold. One of the biggest stories appeared in the July 1884 edition of a British Columbian newspaper called the Daily Colonist, now archived online. The paper reported the capture of a young gorilla-like primate called Jacko. Was Jacko a young Bigfoot, a hoax, a stunt? You decide. Regardless, little Jacko was never reported on again. 1924 Bigfoot attack in Ape Canyon. According to Slate, it was a warm summer night in July 1924, and a group of 5 miners decided to call it a night in their little homemade cabin perched up in what is now called Ape Canyon, a narrow gorge found in the hike up Mount St. Helens in Washington. Allegedly, as the miners tried to get some sleep, a group of crazed, hairy ape men came screaming out of the hills and started launching heavy stones at their cabin. The creatures continued railing on the cabin all night, at one point even reaching inside through a gaping hole in the wall and attempting to steal an axe. The whole thing sounds like a real life Evil Dead, but the Bigfoot instead of Deadites. Finally, the assault died down at daybreak and the miners reemerged from the cabin. One miner, Fred Beck, reported that he saw an ape-man standing in the distance, so he shot the creature, sending it tumbling down into the rocks. Years later, Beck went on to propose that the hostile animals he encountered were actually ghostly beings from another reality. On the other hand, many people have speculated that the ape-men were just a gang of rowdy teenagers. Either way, it sounds like a scary night. As you've probably guessed, this incident is why this particular mountain gorge is now referred to as Ape Canyon. Footprints are found and the name Bigfoot is born. According to Rolling Stone, American ape sightings continued coming in throughout the next few decades. In 1940, a Canadian family reported an 8-foot ape man that was coming out of the woods and broken into their shed, leaving 16-inch footprints in its wake. Then, on one October morning in Northern California in 1958, workers for the Granite Logging Company found a series of giant footprints, once again 16 inches long, submerged in the damp bed of one of their newly built roads. Less than a week later, the workers spotted a creature in the woods that ran upright like a man, swinging long, hairy arms. It looked 10 feet tall. They found more footprints the next day. The local Humboldt Times picked up the story, publishing a photo of the megalithic footprints cast, with journalist Andrew Ginzoli lending the unknown creature a name that would soon become legendary: Bigfoot. The hubbub didn't stop there. At the construction site, footprints kept appearing. Equipment was flipped over, workers reportedly feeling like something in the woods was watching them, and the paranoia grew so intense that 15 men quit. When Ray Wallace, a partner in the firm, was accused of perpetrating a hoax, he angrily reported, "Who knows anyone foolish enough to ruin their own business?" Anyhow, Bigfoot became big news. More tracks were discovered up in Washington, and spotting Bigfoot became a tradition as American as apple pie. But hey, wait, were those big feet a hoax? Were they a hoax? Ray Wallace made a good argument for why the footprints weren't a hoax caused by him. But here's the thing: as any good prankster knows, if you get caught, you're left with two options: give up or double down. Guess what Wallace chose? In 2002, according to the New York Times, Wallace died at the age of 84. Once Wallace's children finished laying their father to rest, they finally came clean with the greatest joke that their prank-loving pop ever pulled on the world. Evidently, the famous feet were wood carvings that Ray had slowly rolled along in a truck to create the massive gate between the tracks. Ray's son Michael told the Times, "It's weird because it was just a joke and it took on such a life of its own that even now we can't stop it. You know, Ray would have pulled it off too if it wasn't for his meddling kids." Of course, he did pull it off for over half a century. Vote Ray Wallace for Prankster King. You'd think this post mortem revelation would have hit the Sasquatch community like a baseball bat, but for the most part, believers were unfazed. That's because even though the Wallace tracks did launch a lot of the Bigfoot hubbub, major Bigfoot researchers had long suspected that the 1958 incident was a hoax. Besides, by 1967, those tracks were overshadowed by a far more dramatic piece of evidence: the Bigfoot video you know by heart. Maybe someday a close-up Bigfoot selfie will be posted on Instagram. Until then, the Patterson Gimlin footage remains the holy grail of Bigfoot evidence. Back in 1967, according to Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Roger Patterson approached his old rodeo buddy Bob Gimlin for the explicit purpose of finding Bigfoot after more giant tracks were found in Northern California. Patterson and Gimlin set out on horseback. Unlike almost every other Bigfoot expedition in history, the pair allegedly stumbled onto the legendary creature walking around the creek just 30 meters away. Patterson, wielding the camera, jumped off his horse in an effort to get closer, accounting for the infamous shaky cam effect. So, was this Bigfoot dubbed Patty the real deal? Over 5 decades later, Patterson's footage has become one of the most studied video clips in history, and it's never been summarily debunked. According to Oregon Public Broadcasting anatomy professor Jeffrey Meldrum, strongly believes in the footage, theorizing that when compared to other primate species special effects of the time, namely Planet of the Apes, Patty's anatomical features are much too advanced to be a phony costume. Not everyone is convinced. In 2004, the Charlotte Observer reported that costume designer Philip Morris, then deceased, claimed to have sold a gorilla suit to Roger Patterson. As for the men behind the video, Patterson died of cancer in 1972. Bob Gimlin maintains that the Bigfoot encounter truly happened and says the decades of interrogation he received because of it ruined his life. Bigfoot becomes a pop culture celebrity. Was the Patterson Gimlin footage real or fake? We don't know, but either way, it set the stage for Bigfoot mania. Since then, enthusiasm for the hairy one has never really died down. Through the 1970s, after the Patterson Gimlin footage went 70s viral, the public was bombed with Bigfoot TV specials, magazine articles, tourist traps, and more. Speculation over the creature's possible existence went rampant, a phenomenon that journalist Michael McLeod describes as the first widely popularized example of pseudoscience in American culture. Bigfoot mania brought about plenty of other Bigfoot sightings, photos, and footprints. Who doesn't have at least one family member or friend who claims to have spotted Bigfoot in the woods? In the later half of the 20th century, Bigfoot grew into one of North America's most potent cultural icons. The wild ape man starred alongside John Lithgow in the 1987 film Harry and the Hendersons, is the focus of the Animal Planet series Finding Bigfoot, has a publishing company named after it, and became the mascot of Jack Link's Beef Jerky, quickly being co opted into pop culture and marketing. Now that's American. What Bigfoot language sounds like, the Sierra sounds. Despite the work of such organizations such as the North American Bigfoot Search, NABS, and the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO, definitive proof of Bigfoot hasn't yet manifested. All the hair samples have ended up being bears. The bodies aren't real. Bigfoot feces never turns out up in Old Man Jenkins' cow pasture. None of that. If Sasquatches are real, the creatures cover their tracks really, really well. However, if Ron Moorhead and Al Barry are to be believed, we might have an idea of what Bigfoot sounds like. According to Scientific American, Moorhead and Barry said they captured the so called Sierra sounds by dangling a microphone over a tree in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Though the language in the recordings is interesting and is broadcast in many Bigfoot TV specials, such human sounding noises could also be a relatively easy hoax. So the Bigfoot community isn't exactly united in the call of the Bigfoot. On the other hand, what if Bigfoot speaks without ever moving its mouth? There are some who believe Bigfoot possesses telepathic powers, but we won't delve into that. It's probably better to prove these creatures exist in the first place before we get all X-Men about it. Whoa, there's a Bigfoot in my freezer. In 2008, according to CNN, two hikers named Rick Dyer and Matthew Whitten announced that they had found the dead body of a nearly 8-foot tall half ape, half human in the Georgia wilderness. They brought the carcass home, stuffed it in a freezer, and shared photos online, hoping to make money from the marketing and promotion rights. The deception was short lived. Testing soon proved that the carcass was just a rubber costume, and the duo publicly apologized. However, Rick Dyer's Bigfoot faker days were far from over. According to the Huffington Post, the Georgian man hit Bigfoot headlines again in 2012 when he claimed to have killed a Bigfoot in Texas, whom he then named Hank. Dyer also claimed that tests run by a university, cough, cough, had proven that the corpse belonged to a previously unknown species. Dyer wanted to take the dead Bigfoot on a national tour and charge admission for anyone who wanted to see Hank. Come on, what is this? The 1800s? Not surprisingly, Dyer's efforts flopped again. In 2014, Dyer's second phony Bigfoot was outed to the public and he apologized. Only time will tell if Dyer attempts the same stunt again in a few years. The DNA proof and the call for tribal recognition. As the years go on, Bigfoot evidence gets weirder and weirder. In 2012, a veterinarian named Melba Ketchum brought Bigfoot back into the headlines. According to Live Science, Ketchum, citing prior experience in genetics research, claimed that after analyzing 100 DNA samples, she had uncovered genetic proof that Sasquatch was real. Not only that, but Ketchum also determined that the cryptid's humanoid features were because an earlier species of primate had mated with Homo sapiens about 15,000 years ago, resulting in the Bigfoot we sort of know today. Ketchum argued fiercely on behalf of her work, even asking the U.S. government to recognize Bigfoot as an indigenous people and immediately protect their human and constitutional rights against potential hunters. But then the Houston Chronicle's Eric Berger took a closer look and found some holes. In addition to discovering Ketchum had self-published her work rather than sending it to a reputable scientific journal, Berger also had Ketchum's evidence tested by a distinguished geneticist in Texas who wasn't impressed with the results. Berger admitted to feeling let down about the whole thing, saying, "I'm honestly really disappointed. A world with Bigfoot would be a little softer, a little more fun. But in my world, science is the arbiter of reality." Nonetheless, Dr. Ketchum's efforts on the Sasquatch Genome Project continue to this day, and she still posts updates on Facebook. Bigfoot isn't the only ape-man myth in the world, but maybe it's because of us. Legends of wild ape men are prevalent in cultures all over the globe, whether it's North America's Bigfoot, the Yeti that prowls the Himalayas, or Australia's Yowie. What is it that makes these half-man, half-ape so popular? Writing for The Atlantic, Edward Simons ponders if, perhaps, the widespread obsession with Bigfoot is due to a human fascination with the wilderness from which we came. A creature that is so similar to human beings, yet still so wild and free, piques our imagination and makes us wonder deep inside if we are really so evolved from our prehistoric ancestors. Perhaps Bigfoot harkens back to the ancient concept of an uncorrupted man. Call him Adam, call him Sasquatch, call him whatever, whose soul has not been torn asunder by the sins of humankind. Of course, the truth might be simpler. A world with Bigfoot is way more exciting than a world where Bigfoot doesn't exist. Famous chimpanzee researcher Jane Goodall once made the surprising confession to NPR that she believes in Bigfoot, but said, "Well, I'm a romantic, so I always wanted that." In this one line, Goodall captures the central myth or central truth of why, when it comes to Bigfoot, hope springs eternal. So for now, maybe we should just enjoy the myth, keep our eyes on the woods, and have fun telling stories to each other. when the FBI takes your Bigfoot sample and never returns it. If you read that that a federal intelligence agency had investigated some Bigfoot shenanigans, you would probably assume you were reading the synopsis for a new Men in Black movie. But no, this happened in real life. The Washington Post reports that back in the cryptozoology crazed days of the 70s, a Bigfoot researcher named Peter Byrne sent a small hair sample, about 15 hairs, attached to a tiny piece of skin to the FBI, writing that he had been unable to identify what creature they belonged to. The FBI did, surprisingly enough, agree to test the samples, but then ghosted Byrne. What a bummer, right? And not suspicious at all. While you might imagine that the hairs were passed around the office as a joke, in reality, the agency actually took Byrne's request quite seriously. In 2019, a Freedom of Information Act request made the FBI's Bigfoot homework go public, and the documentation revealed that the FBI test, unfortunately for Byrne, who was by this point was 93 years old, proved the furry stuff had belonged to a regular old deer rather than a North American ape man. Poor guy, nothing like bad news that gets delivered 40 years late, eh? So that's the end of that one. Another decent history of the Bigfoot story. Does it make you rethink if you believe it or not? I know some of you have actually seen them, but some people haven't, and they're just interested in them, and perhaps one of these stories makes you reconsider whether you believe it or not. Sleeping Beauty says smart to use, another pick for sure. Yeah. Good considering that it's down in Udall. Raptor says, isn't this the new channel, Lockbeard? 6, you have me go to get on. No, this is the old channel. This is the old channel. Let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can get a visual aid here. Yep. Just a second. It's usually not a good idea to try to load any pages that I haven't already loaded before the live stream because it bogs down the computer. But maybe if we're lucky, I can pull this up eventually. One day it will pull up. Outdoors do great things to mind and soul. Yeah. Sasquatch looks like a Halloween charcoal briquette. Yeah. This page is not coming up. Raptor says, Alexander Piper, I'm glad to hear that you're getting out and about a little bit. Alexandra, is that her real name? Now you're always being sweetheart to me. Prayers always. Some grillums. Craving some grillums. Oh man, this thing is bogged down. Hey, I mean, I don't know if I'm buffering on y'all's end, but everything's moving slow here. Come on. Well, I can get this to. Well, why does everything look funky here? Is YouTube jacking with my links? Starting to really get sick of YouTube's crap. Really, really. YouTube, you suck. Let me see here. Think it's a raptor. Voodoo says, within my Cherokee tribe, we often refer to a robust native woman as a Sasquatch. The kind of woman that will turn over your car like Fred Flintstone does when they hang that big rib on it. Yogi Bigfoot says, yabba dabba doo. What's up, Yogi Bigfoot? Where's your picnic basket? Well, might check with Bobo or Boo Boo. Don't check with Bobo. If Bobo's got your picnic basket, I guarantee it's empty. He ate it all. Greetings and salutations, says Yogi. Picnic basket, boo boo. You're all human, yes. Probably. Everyone here is human, I think. Okabone says it's hanging low and to the left. I don't know if that's enough detail. He might not have got the point. He might not have got the point. Raptors are crazy. Perplexed and befuddled by your name. Yeah, everyone is perplexed and befuddled by Icon's name. The secret of his name is known to very few. Does anyone else see Mr. No? Yeah, we see Mr. No. We definitely see Mr. No. Ultrasound. Voodoo says only Icon can see Mr. No. Raptor says the question is if he pulled all those pranks with those wooden casts, how come nobody casted them to know the difference? I don't know. Did anyone cast them? Did they say someone cast? I thought they did. After the picnic baskets, I fight for some sandwiches, says Yogi. So many theories. Yeah, so many theories. What's up, Mr. Hugh? Welcome. Icon says, Yogi, my YouTube handle is a few things. Icon is my favorite makeup film camera. Sees is kind of what a camera does. Mr. No is indeed a hat tip to Dr. No. Oh, man. He would have been Mr. before earning his doctorate. The whole thing is also an anagram for my name. I didn't know if you were going to release that particular detail, but I guess you are. It is a quite clever. Do you know Mr. No? Do you know Mr. No? And the chat disappears. There it is. Came back. Why does it disappear? Smoke up, Johnny. Didn't Philip Morris make cigarettes? Oh, my apologies. I was away making chow earlier when you checked in. No apologies. They still do Marlboro Essential Old Philip Morris unfiltered cigarette with filter on it. From the Clan McLeod. How far? I'm still several minutes behind in chat here. I thought they heard there was stop cigarettes. Uncle Bon says, are you familiar with shortwave and medium wave transceiver radios, etc.? Or says Uncle Bones. Ham radio, 10-4 rubber duck icon, says Mr. Hughes. Familiar with Kiwi, SDR? Everything good over here, says Sleeping. Uncle says icon, I know. Now I know. Growing up, we had wooden box radio, 3 foot tall, with a cylindrical dial. Touch a crackle in audio. Don't touch that dial. Google doing this, not all YouTube. Yeah, but Google owns YouTube. And Alphabet owns Google. It's all a big, all these connections. Now it's buffering. Icon said, he's talking more AM stations. Fresh, all good here, good now. Picture seen, I guess they are from places. Let's see here. Any more juice and you could cook a chicken on your fire stick? Say what? It's playing hide and seek. Tag you're it. Booty says it will light a fluorescent bulb if you hold it near the ground plane antenna. So Raptor, maybe I can show this now. Boom, there we go. So you can see we're live now on the LOCKBEARD backup channel. I don't know if it'll show the yeah, hold on a second. Let me jump over here. Boom. So here's where we're at right now. Although I can't play it while I can't play it myself, but because it creates problems. But this is the live stream we're on right now, and you see down below here, Raptor, you got the description. Click show more. And as you can see, somehow my links got jacked up for my, because you see it says there, primary YouTube channel, LOCKBEARD / LOCKBEARD 6. that's not where we're at right now. We're on the LOCKBEARD 9, and you see there underneath that backup YouTube channel, LOCKBEARD / at LOCKBEARD 9. And then below that, it shows the original, now dead YouTube channel, LOCKBEARD / at LOCKBEARD. There's no number at the end of LOCKBEARD. That's the original channel. And YouTube took it away. They still got it up. You can still go and watch it. But I can't access the channel anymore. Anyway, if you somehow got jacked up, it's supposed to all be one LOCKBEARD / I don't know how this got jacked up, but it got jacked up. Anyway, you should be able to find the channels with those links. Blade of grass. Let's do the high power stick with a blade of grass. Yeah. Raptor says, "What you want?" The Bigfoot atheist inquiries in the house. He says, "I'm too inebriated for this. Actually, I'm quite surprised I can spell the word inebriated." Well, you did it. I mean, we had a little bit of alcohol talk earlier. You probably would have perked up for that. It brought up the bees and the honey and stuff. I'm probably one of the only beekeepers in the world that doesn't like honey, and I don't drink. So even if I make mead from the honey, I'm not going to drink it. So that's what you should do. You should raise some bees. You got a short season up there, but Joe the Bigfoot atheist. Yeah, Voodoo posted up the new channel link right there. Raptor says, "I'm at LOCKBEARD 9. That's what I'm watching this live stream on." Yeah. This channel is the old one. The other one is the new one. This channel was down for 2 weeks, so I had to make a new channel. And that was LOCKBEARD 6. So, because if I didn't make a new channel, I couldn't live stream for 2 weeks. So I had to make a new channel. But this channel has 2 strikes on it. So it's better that I go ahead and let this one simmer down for a while, because I got to wait a couple months for the strikes to come off. Because if I get a strike in the next couple of months, this channel is permanently deleted. So, yeah. So it's the backup channel now. LOCKBEARD 9 is the backup channel. Was in the tub listening to 70s rock and drinking. Awesome. Grass is alive, icon, yes. And it can pick up radio under the right conditions. No doobie. This is it. THC pen. Cheers. Squatch America says, "The wife says I have to go to the hot tub with her. Good night, all. Thanks, LOCKBEARD." Thanks for hanging out, Squatch America. Hopefully we see you again. I won't be live streaming on this channel for the most part. This is the backup channel now because of all the, I'm sure you just heard. But we'll see you later. Thanks for dropping in. Icon says Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry, oh fancy. Raptor says Squatch America. Have a good evening. Be safe. Mr. Hughes wishing happy Easters. Happy Easter, huh? Happy Easter. Yep. Let's see what other kind of article I got here. Uncle Bone says, Squatch America, good night. The Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry says, I don't believe in the Easter Bunny, so I don't celebrate Easter. I find it a yearly source of hilarity that the people that are primarily celebrating Easter are celebrating pagan icons and where is the Easter Bunny in the Bible, folks? I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Where's the Easter Bunny in the Bible, folks? You might want to look into where the Easter Bunny come from. I don't care. Hey, whatever. I'm just saying. What you should do on Easter is teach the kids how to butcher rabbits. You drag them out of the cage, bopping them in the back of the head, throw them on the barbecue. That's what you're supposed to do with rabbits. Rabbits are not supposed to bring you baskets full of eggs and chocolate. That's just insane. Icon says to Satch, you should check out the vid I linked above for a different way of listening to music. May not want to try it from the tub, though. Feel good soon. Rabbit poop in your basket. Stop. What? Bigfoot Atheist says, oh, well, I don't believe in that either, Lockbeard. And you don't believe in what? Eating rabbits? If it's good enough for Elmer Fudd. Jen says, legs going to be swollen for a while, otherwise doing pretty good. Thanks, Mr. Hugh. Yogi says, Peter Cottontail didn't do anything to you. He just wants to hippity hop. I don't care. Rabbits, good eating. Not a lot of fat on it, but it'll do. Voodoo says it's the day Jesus rolled the rock and hopped out of the bunny cave. It's the name, second word. It's in the name, second word. Sorry, third word. Youngsters enjoy Easter. I guess. Yogi says, well, shove a rabbit foot up your balloon knot. What in the hell? Okay. If you say so. This is a write up on ladbible.com. Bigfoot sightings have now been explained in groundbreaking new study. This is a couple months old. It's from January. a scientist has come forward with an explanation for Bigfoot sightings, having dedicated an entire study to getting to the bottom of the matter. The mystery of Bigfoot is one that continues to baffle the planet, with grainy footage from deep within the North American wilderness not doing much to prove its existence. Surprising, I know. But while some images and videos may seem laughable, the myth of the large, hairy, ape-like creature, often commonly referred to as Sasquatch in Canadian and American folklore, has never actually been disproven. What's more, there are so many damn sightings cropping up all the time. Are all of our eyes really deceiving us? Or is there something legit in all of this? Data scientist Flo Foxton decided to crunch the numbers in a new study, which was published on January 18th this year in BioR. What is that supposed to be? 14 RXIV. It delves into whether these sightings may have a much simpler explanation, with Foxton writing, "It has been suggested that the American black bear, Ursus americanus, may be responsible for a significant number of purported sightings of an alleged unknown species of hominid in North America." Previous analysis have identified correlation between Sasquatch or Bigfoot sightings and black bear populations in the Pacific Northwest using ecological niche models and simple models of expected animal sightings. Foxton's study expands the analysis to the entire US and Canada by regressing Sasquatch sightings on bear populations in each state or province, while adjusting for human population and land area in a mixed effects model. The data expert said sightings were statistically significantly associated with bear populations, with one sighting expected for every 900 bears on average. Based on statistical considerations, it is likely that many supposed Sasquatch are really misidentified known forms, Foxton said. He used data from the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, which keeps a geographical database of sightings from eyewitness, most of which date from the second half of the second century onwards. Foxton then compared these figures with local data on black bear density and spread, along with the density of human population, to see if changes in one could be associated with changes in the other. For example, he found that areas with high numbers of black bears and humans, such as parts of the Pacific Northwest, led to higher numbers of Bigfoot sightings. In places like Texas and Florida, black bears aren't as common, despite the fact Bigfoot sightings are relatively common, but this is believed to be an exception to the rule. Notably, Sasquatch sightings have been reported in states with no known breeding black bear populations, Foxton said. Although this may be interpreted as evidence for the existence of an unknown hominid in North America, it is also explained by misidentification of other animals, including humans, among other possibilities. In closing, Foxton added, in conclusion, if Bigfoot is there, it may be many bears. Boring. Um, there are so many problems with this. I don't even know where to start. One, it could simply be the case that Bigfoot and black bears like to live in the same place. Um, this is this is a correlation issue, but it's not that doesn't speak to causation. It's kind of like plaque in your heart, right? You know, you see, you think that that's the cause of your problems. You think the cholesterol is the cause of your problems because these yahoos, these morons, these idiots who call themselves scientists. See, 'cause if they call themselves a scientist and they spout a bunch of crap, I can call them a moron, and I will. You know, they're claiming that this is causing their issue, the cholesterol is causing their issue, and that's completely unproven. It doesn't make any damn sense. It's just bullshit. So saying that the cholesterol is there, so it must be the cause of your issue is bullshit. Every bit as much as saying there are firemen at a fire. The firemen must have caused the fire. No, the firemen are there to fight the fire. That's the same thing for the cholesterol in your heart. And I don't know if the Bigfoot are there to fight the black bears or vice versa, but the fact that they're both in the same place doesn't necessarily mean anything. The black bear are not the cause of the Bigfoot sightings necessarily. Now, I think there may be a few of them that are. I think there are some people out there who couldn't tell a black bear from a white fluffy pussycat. There's just people that they can't. They don't. They may. Now you tell them that they're going to get all insulted. I don't give a shit. There's people that don't. They can't tell one thing from the other at all. Their mind fills in too many blanks. They're too easily um, affected by pareidolia, and they just don't know anything about animals. Haven't been exposed to animals enough to be able to tell one thing from another. That damn kangaroo in Australia would be called a dog man by some of these fools. It just would. So so that's part of the problem here. Another part of the problem is they got their data from BFRO, which I think most people that would be coming to this live stream already know does not have reliable data. They censor so much stuff. If there are elements of the story that doesn't meet with their particular idea of how the story should read, they won't include it in their data. So it's highly filtered. It's skewed. It's biased. They include all the data or your data is useless. If I believed that they were honestly vetting these people appropriately, that would be one thing. But I don't believe that they are. I believe they want to push this particular narrative, and that's all there is to it. And I think I had what was another issue I had with this? It's just there's no way to there's just no way to prove that like they just threw out the part where you had a couple of states with low black bear populations, but plenty of Bigfoot sightings. Well, that's kind of important. That kind of shoots a hole in your idea, doesn't it? To some extent. But I wouldn't put too much stock in the idea this article's pushing. Um, some people can't tell the difference between a black bear and a Bigfoot. I guarantee that. But the presence of black bears does not mean that people are always mistaking black bears for Bigfoot. Bigfoot probably just likes to live in the same places black bears find to be hospitable. Let me see here. Whoops. Where'd the chat go? It disappeared. Brown eye. Well, I don't know what you talk about there. Turd cutter. Trying not to say arsehole, just joshing. Trying not to say asshole. Atheist says, yeah, that's an old article. Bears my ass. Maybe some, but couldn't be all. What I saw was not a bear. Yeah. Some people have sightings that are clearly, clearly they couldn't have made that mistake. This article is not too old. It was published in January. A few months old, but it's not a new idea, that's for sure. That other people have said this same shit. It may apply to some sightings, but not all. Like yours, like you're staying, what were you, 20 feet away from the thing? So, the only thing that makes me wonder if there's a possibility that you're mistaken as to the identity of what you saw would be that this was a really big, really dirty, matted up dude living out in the woods all wild and crap. Like, no clothes and the whole 9 yards. I don't know, but he said he's covered in hair to an extent he couldn't have been a normal human, right? Or so we think. I have some ideas about that. I haven't really prepared to talk about that stuff yet, so I don't want to say too much. But yeah, Bigfoots and barefoots. Yeah. Raptor says, I've never seen a bear walking on their hind legs with their front paws hanging down to their side. They always stick out. Yeah. Rexan says, that picture on the right is one of me leaving the beach. Really? Icon says, Voodoo Cadillac. I've seen both of them with Gravedigger and Krushner. Satch says, because they can't keep their balance on two legs, Raptor. That's why they hold. That's why they hold their front legs out in front of them on two legs. Raptor says to Joe, yes, I know what you're saying. And I agree with you 100%. I've never seen it before myself. I've seen a lot of bears out in the wild. They walk upright. Icon says to Raptor, they walk upright like they have a stick in their ass. I guess it could be like that. Raptor says to Mr. No, I agree 100%. Seen a lot of black bears in Colorado when I lived there. I've seen grizzlies stand up on their hind legs, sniffing the air, and alarms go down somewhat. Never seen one walk. Outer Banks. Hamburger place. Logan, eat and get the hell out. He ate and got the hell out. Icon says that Aussie dog man would kick the crap out of a lot of. Wait, we need it to pass it around. That dog man is kangaroos. Yeah, there could be some wild kangaroos running around, and I guarantee you there are a lot of people in the United States that would see a kangaroo in the wild of America and could possibly think that it is a dog man rather than seeing very clearly what it is. Now, to me, I see a kangaroo, I'm going to know I'm looking at a kangaroo. I've only seen kangaroos in zoos and on videos and on movies and stuff like that. I haven't actually seen a kangaroo in the wild, but I'm pretty sure that I will not be mistaking a kangaroo for a dog man. And so yeah, eat and run, Bob's Grill, good food. 40 feet, about 15 yards is the distance you saw him. That's close enough. Danny's here. Welcome. Greeting us from South Carolina. Raptor says to Voodoo, what state are you talking about for that restaurant? Kangaroo Dog Man says, someone call. Oh boy. Somebody's changed their name. I'm going to guess it was the Yogi guy. Whoever Yogi is might be Kangaroo Dog Man. Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry. Satch says, I saw Ruse when I was in Australia. Saw a wallaby kick the living shit out of a guy in a boxing ring. What's really cool. See, people today don't know. They don't understand how much safer the world is for them to live in, because many of the things that we used to have to live with and we hunted were very, very large animals. Like, they don't understand. We evolved amongst all these megafauna. Hundreds of species that are no longer here today. We evolved alongside and hunted and hunted, and we specialized in hunting these animals. One of them was a giant kangaroo. There's probably more than one species. I'm probably going to put out some shorts here soon, having to do with the fully carnivorous nature of humans, where I found a nice picture of. It's actually supposed to be Homo floresiensis, but as I've stated before, Homo floresiensis was not a separate species. I don't care what the hell these anthropologists say. They just like to be able to say, oh, look, I discovered a new species. No, you didn't. You discovered a small race of humans, you dumb fuck. Anyway, this picture shows them hunting a large monster lizard. Now, in Australia, that was where they had, I can't remember the name of it, a very, very large monitor lizard. I mean, this thing was so damn big that it might be the source of legends of dragons. It was huge. And we ate them, some of them. Humans ate a lot of meat. We specialized in killing stuff. We were awesome like that. Chimpanzees chase around a monkey and kill a monkey and eat it. They can take a stick and they know some tool. See, chimpanzees have some tool using ability. They'll take a stick and get some termites out of the mound, and they have some tool using ability. Humans, once we diverged from chimpanzees, we just took that tool making ability and ran with it. And, had the aquatic adaptations that we got. We are a semi-aquatic coastal marine chimpanzee, which is why we lost, a lot of our body hair like many marine mammals do. We obviously didn't go the full 9, right? We only partially evolved down that route. We didn't go full dolphin up in this bitch, but we lost a lot of our body hair as a result. The permanent expansion of the carotid artery brought in by underwater held breath swimming, resulting in increased IQ, is another piece of very good evidence that humans are meant to spend time in the water. And otherwise, you can't achieve your highest IQ possible without held breath underwater swimming. You just can't. You take a human baby, you throw it in the water, he'll float there and hold his breath just fine. You take a chimpanzee, throw him in the water, that bitch is going to drown. Why? Because humans have aquatic evolution in our background. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into it too, but which gets us into the aquatic ape hypothesis, and we talked about that like one of the very early LOCKBEARD phenomena live streams. Basically, mermaids. The potential for some tribes of humans to have actually gone the full 9 and gone fully aquatic, and now they're out there, very intelligent hominids that swim, right? Not a half fish, half. That's whatever. That's not. That's crazy stuff right there. But it's something that actually evolved out of early humans during our aquatic phase. Possibly exists in the 3/4 of the earth that's covered in oceans that we barely know. We barely know the oceans. We know more about the surface of the moon than we know about the oceans, it seems like. But yeah, and it started there because we're eating shellfish and spearing fish, and it's not a huge jump to take from getting termites out of a mound to taking a sharpened stick and stabbing a fish, and then taking sharpened sticks and maybe driving uh, well-fed lions off their kill and driving them away so you could take what's left, which oftentimes might just be the bones, which is cool because humans can take a rock and smash the bones open. We got evidence for this. They broke open the bones, ate the marrow, and ate the brain. And we did this a lot, which results in the permanent the situation now where we are designed like that. The nutrition of brain and marrow is some of the 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 most nutritious stuff on the planet for humans because we ate this stuff a lot, and then when we started hunting ourselves, we continued to eat it, and then when our megafauna prey were wiped out just thousands of years ago. I mean, for millions of years we were eating meat, and then all of a sudden all our megafauna prey were gone, and we were like screwed. We're like, shit, what are we going to eat? And then next thing you know, some asshole invented agriculture, and we started eating plants. We did not eat plants before then. Well, probably a little bit, but so rarely that we were more carnivorous than bears, more carnivorous than most carnivores. The isotopic data that they've gotten proves this. The stomach acid, and our stomach acid is that of a scavenger. It's stronger than a typical carnivore. It's as strong as a scavenger. And so and I have to make the connection with the Sasquatch, right? Because people don't seem to be able to see when they see a Sasquatch. When you see a Sasquatch, you got to remember a certain set of circumstances, evolutionary pressures had to occur in order to create that thing. That thing that looks exactly like a type of human, but just bigger and hairier. Its feet are shaped exactly like ours. People like to talk about the midfoot. There's humans today with midfoot flexion. That's not a distinguishing characteristic at all, really. They just might be a race of people that all have midfoot flexion compared to ours, but we don't even know that because we've only got so many footprints, right? We don't have the footprints of We haven't been able to study live specimens to prove shit. But we know that some humans today have midfoot flexion just fine. And this may have something to do with these being cultures often that don't wear shoes that mess up their feet. But so the feet are human, right? Because people like to say, well, conversion to evolution, blah, blah, blah. And evolution doesn't lead you to the path to being human, right? It can lead you anywhere. You know, they think that somehow they have weird ideas about evolution. Some people do. The upright stance, right? Because you have to go from a chimp-like ancestor that wasn't upright to what we are. It seems now, if we go along with the descriptions of its ability to throw, that it probably throws as well as humans, right? Which is an issue because with chimpanzees, they don't have the ability to throw like a human. They can't throw with the accuracy and the power of a human. So a chimpanzee is way stronger than a human, but it doesn't have the shoulder structure of a human, which is designed to be able to throw things accurately, to throw weapons, spears, throwing rocks, whatever it takes to take down prey. Humans are designed like that. And, that kind of goes hand in hand with the upright stance. Although I think the upright stance, a lot of that developed during the aquatic stage where we were wading into the water. We needed to stand upright, just like you see the design in wading birds changes. The body plan of wading birds, they need to stand up tall. And for humans, we just began to stand up straight. Of course, your hands and your feet wrinkle up as a response to damp environments. It's to give you better traction in slippery conditions and better grip on slippery things in aquatic conditions. More of our aquatic adaptations. So I think the upright stance may have just really come from our aquatic adaptation stage of our evolution. And Bigfoot got that as well, right? So it got this upright body plan. It had to go through the same history as we did. You got the feet, ability to throw. It's evidently pretty intelligent because it's managed to evade us so well. Cougars and black bears are extremely elusive animals, but you can still find them. You can still track them pretty well. You can still go out and hunt them. Bigfoot's some next level shit. So I think that may go to that may go to explain that it's more intelligent. That elusiveness because elusiveness will only take you so far with us because we're intelligent enough to beat that system at some point. Might take us a while, but we'll eventually break it. But with Sasquatch, we haven't really broken it. And so that tells me that we may be dealing with an intelligence comparable to ours, along with a lot of stuff. But so they got the intelligence, they got the body plan, they got the same feet. Morphologically, just looking at the animal, it's shaped like a type of human. It had to have the same evolutionary history. So I'm going to find it really, really hard to believe that is not a race of Homo sapiens. Especially since I think that the anthropologists are completely wrong. Heidelbergensis, habilis, erectus. They're claiming these are all different species, but I guarantee you, if they get if they can get a complete DNA sample and clone one of those things today, it will be fully able to breed with a human of today. It's just it's an older version of us, but it's not a separate species. You know, so as a species change, a species is going to change over time. Yes, that's true. But at what point do you mark off and say this is a separate? You know, you're going along the line, and here we are, and here's, you know, Homo habilis. You know, at what point along the line do you say that this is a separate species from this? You know, here or back here? You know, where do you say? And because it's a gradual change in some circumstances. Now, with humans, we do have a definite marker, right? Because there was the chromosomal fusion event that occurred that pretty much should have instantaneously shaved us off of the chimpanzee line, because we now had one less pair of chromosomes than chimpanzees instantly, an instant change. So until they can prove otherwise, I think we should say, look, you know, these are older versions of the Homo sapiens. All of these are all the way back, but they can't prove that, and they probably never will prove that. But and they're all got egos, and they want to declare, "Hey, I could discovered a new species." Now, I mean, it doesn't sound as good as I discovered a new subspecies, a new subspecies. So, and I think Sasquatch qualifies, is going to be, once we find them, once we find the evidence we need, a body, you know, uh, bones or something, we will learn at that time, I think, that they are a separate subspecies, but not a separate species. That you would literally be able to breed with a Sasquatch. Now, whether you survive the breeding remains to be seen. But yeah. But all that came out of, we used to run with all these big animals. We used to have to fight off, you know, not just saber-toothed cats, but there were lions and leopards and shit, cheetahs, American cheetahs that were bigger. There were bigger cats than saber-toothed cats. People just love that image of the saber-toothed tiger because it has this huge fucking saber teeth. There were bigger cats than that in America, and we had to run around and deal with those assholes. There was the giant cave bear, way bigger than a damn. We had to deal with that shit. We had a lot of shit to deal with while we were hunting, you know, mastodons and woolly mammoths and giant woolly rhinos and giant sloths with freaking claws that they take one swipe at you'd probably cut you in freaking half. Um, Gigantic freaking flightless birds that could probably bite you in half. Kangaroos, big ass kangaroos in freaking Australia that if it got a good kick on your head could probably kick your head plumb off. And a giant freaking lizard that could probably eat 10 men in a sitting. Humans must be pretty badass to deal with all that shit. Icon says, I emailed you a couple GIFs. Walking bear. It's good pulled barbecue. Raptor says, North Carolina once in a while. Danny says, when I was in Australia, a bloody giant crocodile tried to eat me, and a dingo stole my Reese's peanut butter cups. That's a crazy Australia story right there. Back then, some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you. Yep. Uncle Mom says, that's what you keep getting candy bars and baby what? CVD says, always knew I was a mermaid. Such as the other great apes have the wrong design nose for swimming. Oh, that's another one of the morphological characteristics that Sasquatch has to humans. Again, it's like all these characteristics combined in one creature were the same species. We're the same species. Rex says, represent the Second Amendment. If you go into the woods, you better take a club. Icon says, voodoo, some food porn on the front page there. Boy, does that look good. Delicious food was there. Says, although there are some species of diving monkeys. Yeah. Exceptionally fussy about good B and G. There's 4 categories too: greasy spoon, truck stop, and homemade. Another. Yeah, well, and there's been people, because we take chimpanzees into captivity where you can get a chimpanzee. You can't get a chimpanzee to go in the water. Chimpanzees in the wild don't like water. Their body fat's way too low. They're clearly not designed to deal with swimming, whereas humans have all these adaptations to swimming. So. Fuzzy around good B&G. There's 4 categories. Oh, I already read that one. Get to work in the morning. See you later, Setch. Thanks for dropping in. Raptor says, good evening. You still going to be on Monday? Hopefully. Hopefully he is. Drop bear. Yeah, imagine a 12-ton drop bear. I wonder who's changing their names over and over. Rex Hand says, like omnivore hamburgers. No, humans are not omnivores. That's one of the lies they told us. Dropbear says, happy Easter from down under, beautiful peeps. How goes it, mate? Chillin', how be you? Voodoo says, Icon, I was there during lunch, but I'm sure the breakfasts are great also. Icon says, drop bear, good to hear you've been getting the video stuff finished up here. Get to working outside. Spring. He's speaking un-American degrees. So whatever 17 degrees is here. Put leaves all over Ruthless freshly mowed lawn. How is Ruthie? Voodoo says I worked off the meal by walking the 800 some old steps that top Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. Converts me, Chucky stupidity. And Drop Bear's talking. Drop Bear is definitely from Australia. This Mark. It's either Mark or Ruthless. Uncle Bone says deer saves rabbit from hawk, then stomps hawk in the dirt. Yeah, deer knows what. I think I've seen that video somewhere. Seemed like it anyway. That actually about 200 odd steps. Frustrated is living the arrangements. I actually want to catch up and chat up. What else is new with Ruthie? Always mad at living arrangements. Translated down unto Celsius. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get an email. They got the. Let me see if I can get this to come up. Come on, you can do it. There's the one bear walking. That's exactly how Bigfoot walks. Come on now. That's exactly how Bigfoot walks. Yeah. Icon says the poor, sad is always doing yard work. The poor sod. Watching other peeps' animals. Icon's just laughing. Yep. Let me see if I can pull up this other. This is from yesterday. Yeah, come on, function. Work, damn you. There we go. This is on AugustaFreePress.com. Want to see Bigfoot? If you are in Virginia, you better hit the road. If you think Bigfoot or a Sasquatch is on the loose in the United States, you are not alone. There have been a number of reported Bigfoot encounters in most states. According to experts, however, your best chance of a sighting would be in a remote forested area where the ape-like creatures could prey on wild animals such as deer. While you might think the criteria is a good match for Virginia, it's actually Washington State that has the most reported Bigfoot encounters. Bonus Insider's team compared witness reports against the latest population data for their report. Per capita, Washington State was followed by Oregon and West Virginia. If you are searching for giant footprints or even the ape men themselves in the wild, you may need to hit the road for the encounter. The state of Washington, 710 reports, 9.12 sightings per 100,000. With 710 Bigfoot sighting reports, Washington State is the most likely place for a Sasquatch encounter. The odds of seeing one are 10,965 to 1. And even better considering that 52.74% of the territory is covered in forest and is home to at least 270,000 deer, white and blacktail and mule deer combined, as well as another 1,200 Columbian deer. If present, the Sasquatch could also hunt elk, 60,000, along with various small animals. The largest number of reports, 83, are from Pierce County, which and include various sightings, footprints, and vocalizations and growls heard by witnesses. Oregon has 257 reports, which is 6.06 sightings per 100,000. At 6.06 reports per 100,000 people, Oregon offers fairly good odds for spotting Bigfoot, 16,500 to 1. Forests are estimated to cover 48.51% of the state territory, while deer and elk, along with plenty of other wild animals, live there. Bigfoot sightings in Oregon date back to the beginning of the 20th century, but the native tribes have legends about wild men that are probably much older. Although not an official symbol of the state, the mythical creature is nearly as popular as the salmon and the beaver for Oregonians and the local tourist industry. With a total of 27 reported sightings over the past 40 years, Clackamas County must be a cryptozoologist dream. West Virginia has 106 reports, 5.97 sightings per 100,000, compared to other states. West Virginia does not have a large number of Sasquatch sightings, 106. But due to the fact that fewer people live here, the odds of seeing the hairy beast are quite high, 5.97 cases per capita. Recent sightings in the southern part of the state have gained media attention, while the counties with the most cases are Pendleton with 14 and Randolph with 10. The state has a large population of around 550,000 white-tailed deer, but another important factor in the likelihood of seeing Bigfoot is the landscape, mountainous and heavily forested. Currently, roughly 79% of the state is covered by forest. While your chances of seeing Bigfoot in Virginia are pretty low, that hasn't stopped Augusta County from celebrating the creature annually at a summer Bigfoot conference and family festival. The last one was held in June 2021 in New Hope. So whether it's a myth or a real phenomenon, if you are in Virginia, you probably won't encounter Bigfoot. There's a better chance of seeing Chessie, Virginia's very own sea monster. I think chat jumped on me there. Well, 32 knots. I'm not sure where I was at in the. We got 800. Oh, I already read that part. Starlog is here. Greetings, Starlog. Translated to down under Celsius. Yeah. Poor saw was always doing yard work. I would have read that one. That's where we were, I think. See, the bear has a stick in his ass. Yeah. That was more than he could bear. Right, Uncle Bones? Drop Bear says, Icon, truth be told, he'd be happy with a simple thank you, not some narcissistic rant. He's always babysitting Costa, his sister's puppy. Icon says, if you saw all the Bigfoot cutouts in pot stores in Washington State, you would understand all the sightings. Uncle Bone says, Drop Bear, yes, so he can't do something because he has the dog. Chick kind of got issues. Pretty much the point. Kangaroos. 7 cans short of a 6-pack. That's pretty bad. Strawberry says tree doesn't go all the way to the top branch. Is he still living with a duck? Say what now? The Daily Beast is here. Welcome. Welcome, Daily Beast. Let me make sure this came up. It did not come up. What is wrong? You will function, dang it. See, stuff don't always work. Uncle Bone says family tree has a popsicle stick. Strawberry says Icon, his niece Bianca has a duck in Sydney where his kittens now live. Yeah, Rufus really likes his cats. I have noticed. This is on foxnews.com. Legend or real? Here are 4 scary creatures that some believe inhabit North America. This came out March 23rd. Bigfoot sightings have been reported across U.S., Canada. Other creatures have a place in folklore too. There are mysterious creatures of urban legend in the U.S. and Canadian regions that have stood the test of time, both fascinating and frightening. Those who encounter the folklore surrounding them, these creatures known as cryptids, are reported throughout the United States and Canada. They play a significant cultural role in the history of many cultures and small towns. Here is a quick explainer followed by a deep dive into 4 of them. Cryptid explained. A cryptid is defined as an animal such as Sasquatch or the Loch Ness Monster that has been claimed to exist but never proven to exist, says Merriam-Webster. Stories of cryptids are so popular for a multitude of reasons. Dr. Angus Kress Gillespie, a professor of American Studies at Rutgers University in New Jersey, told Fox News Digital, "We all love stories because they fire our imagination and they give us a break from our daily routine," said Gillespie. But these stories are especially fascinating because they're legends, he said, and therefore they force us to deal with the issue of belief. A person's brain is not wired to just sit on the fence when it comes to a topic of a belief, he explained. Most of us will be either a believer or a skeptic. He added, this in turn leads to some interesting debates among our family and friends. There's also a local pride element, Gillespie said. When mysterious creatures drive tourism and interest in an area. Most of us meet these monsters not in the field, but at a festival, he said. Now check out these 4. 1, the Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Many Native American tribes in the northwestern part of the U.S. and Canada have legends dating back as far as anyone can remember of similar ape-like creatures who walk on 2 legs. Some explorers claim to have taken photographs of this creature. The photos, however, tend to appear blurry, leading to questions of authenticity, folklore specialist note. The creature is known by many names, including Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and Wildman, says Encyclopedia Britannica. Regardless of the name, these creatures are reported to be up to 15 feet tall, to live in the woods, and to communicate by shouting, that reference notes. They also play an important role in folklore. The Salies, a sovereign Coast Salish First Nation located in British Columbia, Canada, called these creatures Sasquatch, or a word that which was anglicized to Sasquatch, notes the Agassiz Harrison Observer, a Canadian newspaper. Sally's Nation includes Harrison Lake, British Columbia, several surrounding towns. The Sallies believe that Sasquatch are the caretakers of their lands and that they exist between both physical and spiritual realms, said the paper. The Sasquatch is featured on the Sally's tribal flag and is also used as a logo, said the website. The village of Harrison Hot Springs, located in Harrison Lake, is home to the Sasquatch Museum and also hosts annual Sasquatch Days celebration, the website notes. Number 2, the Mothman and a bridge collapse. Apart from the Sasquatch, arguably the most famous American cryptid is the Mothman. The Mothman was reportedly first spotted by two couples on November 15th, 1966, near an abandoned National Guard armory building and power plant in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. An article published by the Smithsonian Institution indicated. The creature was described as a menacing figure standing 6 to 7 feet tall with glowing red eyes, noted the Smithsonian Institution. The Mothman reportedly rose in the air similar to the way a helicopter does and was able to fly very efficiently, according to the first sightings. The local media were stumped by the reports, with the Point Pleasant Register reporting the incident under the headline, "Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something." The Athens Register in nearby Athens, Ohio, went with this headline, "Winged Red-Eyed Thing Chases Point Couples Across Countryside." Eventually, the creature became known as the Mothman. Over the next year, there were a handful of reports of sightings in and around Point Pleasant. Point Pleasant, however, sadly became known for more than just the Mothman. 13 months to the day after the initial Mothman sighting, the Silver Bridge, which linked Point Pleasant with Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed into the Ohio River without warning, said the West Virginia Department of Transportation in a 2022 article commemorating the victims. A total of 46 people died in what was the deadliest bridge disaster in modern history, said the West Virginia DOT. After the bridge collapse, Mothman sightings stopped, leading some to wonder if the cryptid was a sinister harbinger of doom or some sort of warning of the coming catastrophe, said the Smithsonian. Now, Point Pleasant is home to the Mothman Festival each September, where people from all over the world gather around our charming main street to celebrate their favorite cryptid during this one-of-a-kind event. The event's website notes. 3 is the Jersey Devil, New Jersey Devil. One cryptid became so well enmeshed in folklore that the National Hockey League named the team after it. The New Jersey Devils are not named after the Prince of Darkness, but rather the Jersey Devil, a cryptid supposedly haunting the Garden State since the late 18th century. The creature is also called the Leeds Devil. They say it has a horse's head, long legs with hooves, 2 short front legs, and a bat's wings. No one knows how tall it is, says the New Jersey official state website. Some reports of the Jersey Devil say that it is 6 feet tall, while others say it is only 3 or 4 feet tall. Regardless of height, the creature is reported to have red eyes and produce loud screeching sounds. It's very ugly and people are terrified after seeing it, says the New Jersey website. During the day, the devil lives in the wetlands. At night, it comes out to scare anyone it meets. The Jersey Devil has several equally bizarre origin stories, notes the state of New Jersey. One takes place on a dark and stormy night in 1735 when a woman named Mother Leeds was delivering her 13th baby. No one knew for sure exactly what happened, but people had lots of ideas, says the New Jersey website. One said Mother Leeds herself wanted the baby to be the devil, while another states that the child was born with a tail, wings, and hooves and flew up the chimney. Yet another states that the child looked normal, but then it changed. Other Jersey Devil origin stories involve curses placed upon young women. One telling of the tale states a town put a curse on a young girl who fell in love with a British soldier during the Revolutionary War. The New Jersey website says when she gave birth, it was to the Jersey Devil. A similar story says the Jersey Devil was born after a gypsy cursed a girl because she didn't give the gypsy food. Number 4, the Wendigo, a cannibalistic monster. While Sasquatch and Mothman and the Jersey Devil do not have a history of being inherently violent towards humans, the same cannot be said of the Native American legend of the Wendigo. The Wendigo, also spelled Wendigo or Witico, is a cannibalistic creature described in the folklore of Algonquin-speaking peoples, says the Canadian Encyclopedia. These people include the Ojibwa, the Mi'kmaq, the Abenaki, the Algonquin, and many other tribes, First Nations across the United States and Canada. The Canadian Encyclopedia says that according to most Algonquin oral traditions, a Wendigo is a cannibalistic monster that preys on the weak and socially disconnected. A person becomes a Wendigo after his or her spirit is corrupted by greed or weakened by extreme conditions such as hunger and cold. Other stories tell of humans becoming possessed by a Wendigo. Wendigos are described differently according to various tribal traditions, says the Canadian Encyclopedia, but typically have ashen skin, large sunken eyes, sharp teeth, and distinctive foul odor. Some legends say Wendigos have antlers or horns or a skeleton that is visible through its skin. Wendigos have been part of indigenous folklore for generations, and the first Europeans to report on their existence was French Jesuit missionary Friar Paul Lejeune. In 1636, a letter to his superior, Lejeune wrote, "This devilish woman added that the Wendigo had eaten some Atika Megalkin. These are the tribes that live north of the river that is called Three Rivers. And that he would eat a great many more of them if he were not called elsewhere." The cryptid even lent its name to Wendigo psychosis, a mental disorder that leads a person to become obsessed with cannibalism, says the Canadian Encyclopedia. Some comments on this one. Laughing to the Bank says, even more unbelievable is the fact some people think Joey's doing a good job. That is stranger than fiction. Say what? I don't even think these comments are only creatures I know are Democrats. It doesn't look like we're going to find anything too great down here. Oh well. Sometimes the comments are a source of good stuff, but not always. Ruthie Icon says Ruthie may be a cat, just like the Japanese. Harmless really likes my tractor and barbecue. Icon says, that's awesome. I was glad he could get a chance to hang out with somebody that can be a human for a while. Rex Hand says, I had a Mothman in my zapper. Really big moth. Icon says that is a poor representation of Mothra, in my humble opinion. Jen says that knee is almost double the size of the non-operated side drop bear. Supposed to leave your knee alone or ice it. Ice it. I think the leg has changed. Yikes. Should have swelling as part of the healing process. Doesn't sound too bad. Prayers to Jen, says everybody. Well, we are almost 3 hours in on this sucker. We probably should have cut out a long time ago. So, everybody that wants to be on the email list, wants a heads up on issues sometimes, you know, I'll try to get in the habit of just emailing everybody on that list before live streams in case YouTube doesn't notify you. And the primary channel should be back out of suspension on Tuesday. I may or may not do any other live streams before then. Just depends. There's so much crap. You have no idea the stuff going on in the world. Well, maybe y'all probably do know some of it, but the things are bad. Things are really, really bad, and hopefully something happens to fix them. But anyway, so may talk about some of it in random live streams, and maybe even tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how things go. Because every day it's just things are just piling up. Things are piling up. People are nuts out there. So bad, evil things are happening out there. When they're telling me that Zuckerberg has a company that's been going out and catching wild deer and infecting them with the jab, with MNRA. Why? Why would you do such a thing if not to poison people that are hunting deer to avoid eating the crap in the food supply? I mean, I knew Zuckerberg was an evil piece of crap, but you really got to be trying to be an evil piece of crap if you do something like that. Icon says Uncle Kenny just dropped a vid that might be noteworthy for an extra stream. Oh, he's always got good stuff over there. So, yeah. So anyway, next LOCKBEARD Phenomena will be back on the other channel next week, unless I get another suspension for some reason. So hopefully that don't happen. And then, so over the next couple of days, if I do a live stream, it'll be on this channel, and beyond that, I will live stream back on the other channel. I put a poll on this channel in the community tab. a vote on which color of banner do you guys prefer? Do you like best? I mean, I'll probably switch them back and forth all the time anyway, because I made 7 different colors for the other channel. This channel's banner is going to stay what it is now, but the other one I might switch the color randomly just for whatever. Sleeping Beauty says do it. Drop Bear says that most loving way. All right, everybody take it easy. Everybody take it easy later, says Rexhan. See you later, Rex Raptor. Says I got a poll earlier today. Did you now? Did you?
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
I don't know why these videos are all jacked up.
I wish to return to our old ways.
See, it cuts it off. Where's Ruthless so I can irritate him with this?
I like to fuck my cat.
And where's Timmy Boy?
Level out, come on.
And Mr. Lee. Mr. Hughes says peace all. All the good one says Icon Raptor says I got your thing for the color scheme on your channel. Oh, did you? Good night, everyone, says Jen. Good night, Jen. Yeah. All right, everybody, take it easy. See you next time.